The White House has decided to issue corrections to the broadcast that we make on television and radio every day. Finally, they have decided to answer the questions that we have asked. They would like some corrections. I told you right from the get-go that if I made any errors, that I would correct them and I would lead. I'm not going to bury our errors. So let's start with these. Stu, you have the White House blog. Mm-hmm. We are responding directly to the White House now on the things that we have brought up on this broadcast and the things that they say we are wrong about.
Right.
So we have the where would we start? That Van Jones wasn't a communist? You think?
That's probably a big one. I would think that would probably be a good one to start.
How about the? No, let's start with the Van Jones one. Where did we get it wrong with Van Jones? That he was a communist, that he was a revolutionary, that he wants redistribution of wealth, that he is a guy that was supporting cop killers.
Well, that's actually not on here. So you can only have a certain amount of information that you can put.
They didn't do that one?
No, that one's not.
The Cass Sunstein comments, some of his incendiary rhetoric.
Is
that in there? Is that what it is?
There's been an economic crisis, so they
haven't
not
done
as much
one.
money to.
Huh.
Oh, okay. Are they addressing some of the economic problems then? Maybe some of the things that Glenn's spoken about that were inaccurate?
I know. How about the, it'll be so good to hear when they correct me on how we're monetizing our own debt and selling our own treasuries to ourselves. So
is that what it was?
They corrected that one?
Nailed it.
I know that you have, if you go to GoDaddy, I think you can get cheap hosting. But I don't think they're using that service, so they
don't have that one covered either?
They didn't have the space for that.
What did they question?
The first one I noticed here at the end is just they outsourced this one, which was it says, for even more Fox lies, check out the latest Truthometer feature from PolitiFact, which is I think a St. Pete Times feature that debunks a false claim about a White House staffer that continues to be repeated by Glenn Beck and others on the network. This is a lie, a Fox lie.
Okay,
a lie
good. So if it is a lie,
I
mean, we don't lie. It would mean that we would intentionally do it and know that it was wrong. We don't. But if we got a fact wrong...
Well, the White House says you do. I see it right here. It's on official...
I know. And the White House...
we're paying for this site.
We, of course, have to trust the White House on everything that they say. So I apparently am a liar on what fact?
Well, you were a liar on the fact of Acorn and Patrick Gaspard being tied. He never worked for Acorn.
Well, I never said Patrick did. I said Peter Gaspard did.
Peter, sorry.
I mean, that would be a...
Well, it says Patrick on my sheet.
Really? Well, maybe that's what because I think I might have said Peter.
So Peter did work.
Yeah.
He doesn't exist,
Patrick
but
didn't.
Peter did.
Is it Peter or is it Patrick? I thought it was
Patrick.
Patrick Gaspard? Yeah, I don't think they said that I am saying that he worked for Acorn?
Well, I don't know that they're saying that they're linking to something here,
right.
Glenn. They're not. All they're saying is Fox lies. That's all they're saying.
Here's the thing on the Patrick Gaspard connection to Acorn. That was not my fact. I'll take the buck stops with me, so I'll take responsibility. But that was not my fact.
Whose fact was it, Mr. Beck?
Just the founder of Acorn. That was his fact.
Wade Rathke.
He said now that he has made a mistake on that fact.
He says it now.
He says it now. Mm-hmm. He said that Patrick Gaspard was a member of Acorn, but now he has said that was a mistake. It was I'm quoting, a case of mistaken identity. That's according to Acorn. It was an understandable mistake by them, seriously, considering that he did work for SEIU, which he does not deny, and basically SEIU and Acorn is the same organization, complete with the shared addresses and the money flowing back and forth between them. He is also only one of the only people in Acorn CEO's Bertha Lewis Rolodex with a home phone number. So, and his brother works for Advance Group, another shady arm of Acorn. So I can see how the founder of Acorn made that mistake, but that would be his mistake.
See, look, this is the typical spin you get from the right, Pat. And this is what you get is that he's trying to spin the facts, but he can't deny he was wrong. It was a lie. Fox lies.
No, I'm reporting on what the founder of Acorn said about what he believed was one of his employees. I was correct. He did say that. He now says, he does, not me. he says that he made a mistake. So as long as you believe him that he's telling the truth this time about being wrong last time, then one of the 10 million direct and indirect ties from Acorn to Patrick Gaspard is sort of gone. But that's a winning argument for the White House. What? So go ahead. What's the Valerie Jarrett?
Valerie Jarrett, quote, was last seen with the NEA. Then they say this is their explanation of that. Beck's guest, Fox News contributor Pat Caddell, said Obama.
Okay, hang on. No. What did I say?
Well, they're not addressing what you said. They're saying they're addressing
but
what your guest said.
Don't I do? In fact, I've had a television expert tell me that no one, they believe, in the history of television has done more monologuing than I do. I believe I do 20-minute monologues every night. They got to go to the 3-minute guest because there's a lot of meat there in those 20 minutes that maybe they should concentrate on. They don't have that.
Well, there's a floppy drive problem.
Oh, okay. All right. So anyway, let's go to the guest.
Okay. This is a Pat Caddell.
Yes.
Who said Obama.
Hang on just a second. Pat Caddell, a Democrat.
So you say.
Are they using a Commodore computer at the White House?
Yeah, Commodore. It's not even a Commodore 64. It's Commodore 60.
All right.
Commodore 60.
All right. So I remember the small space that you could, that you had available on those.
Okay.
Right.
Not good.
Beck's guest, Fox News contributor Pat Caddell, said Obama is going to Copenhagen with Valerie Jarrett, who was last seen with the NEA pumping up their use of, money. And the reality is, according to the White House, they're taking you on and they're saying Valerie Jarrett was not on the NEA conference call.
Hang on.
She was not a participant.
Hold on just a second. Let me get this right. What is the White House response to the last time she was seen? She was with the NEA pumping up their use of money? Mm-hmm. Okay. What is their response? What is
their response?
Their response
I don't know why
is...
I didn't hear this, but their response is Valerie Jarrett
You're quoting.
Quote. Valerie Jarrett was not on the NEA conference call. She was not a participant in the August 10, 2009 United We Serve NEA conference call.
Lame.
Okay, I didn't
never
say
said
that she was
on the conference call.
No.
Never said.
Buffy talked about how she's in the White House, and she works under Valerie Jarrett, and this is all under her office. So they're very excited about this. So is the White House, because we should call people, in the history books, is the White House claiming now, let me see if I can, because I can clear up another White House scandal. Mm-hmm. Nixon never was in the Watergate.
He didn't go to the hotel?
He did not go to the hotel.
I thought that's what that whole thing was about.
No,
Richard Nixon
he was never in the hotel room. No.
Why didn't they just
Others were doing his bidding. Others were doing his bidding. That's weird. And we have on the conference call the audio tape of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She was saying, I work for Valerie Jarrett. This program is really under Valerie's office. So, in fact, do we have the quote? Stu, did you look that up?
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Quote, I am at the Office of Public Engagement here at the White House. Our office does a lot of outreach to communities all across the country, either by constituency group, a.k.a. Acorn, or by issue. We have about 20 folks, and we work under Valerie Jarrett.
See? Weird. She was not on the call.
Mm-hmm. But Buffy is... so, what's her last name? Buffy Wicks. That's right. Buffy Wicks is the deputy director. Jarrett is the senior advisor of the same department. So that would be like having Joe Biden on a call and saying, I work right underneath the president, and we're all behind you. And then the president saying, I wasn't on that call. I guess it is plausible deniability, but I think we all know how that works now in Washington.